Hi dear students, welcome to Bosco Campus Vision. This is Seema Dudley. Welcome to my another video on data analytics. In this video, we will discuss about the open source software Hadoop, its architecture and working. Hadoop is an open source framework. It is provided by Apache to process and analyze very huge volume of data. It is written in Java and is currently used by the social medias like Facebook, Twitter, and also Google. Then Apache Hadoop is an open source software which allows us to store big data in an distributed environment so that we can process it parallelly. The major layers of a Hadoop architecture are processing and computation layer and storage layer. And the processing and computation layer is a MapReduce and storage layer is Hadoop distributed file system. Next is MapReduce. Hadoop MapReduce is a computational model and software framework for writing applications which are run on Hadoop. These MapReduce programs are capable of processing enormous data in parallel on large clusters of computation nodes. The second one is the HDFS, that is Hadoop Distributed File System. HDFS takes care of the storage part of Hadoop application. MapReduce applications consume data from HDFS. HDFS creates multiple replicas of data blocks and distributes them on compute nodes in a cluster. This distribution enables reliable and extremely rapid computations. The Hadoop framework also includes the following two modules, that is Hadoop Common and Hadoop Yarn. Hadoop Common means these are the Java libraries and utilities required by other Hadoop modules. Hadoop Yarn means it is a framework for job scheduling and cluster resource management. The Hadoop does distributed processing for huge data sets across the cluster of commodity servers and work on multiple machines simultaneously. To process any data, the client submits data and program to Hadoop. The HDFS stores the data while MapReduce process the data and the Yarn divide the task. It is quite expensive to build bigger servers with heavy configurations that handle large scale processing. But as an alternative, we can tie together many commodity computers with single CPU as a single functional distributed system, and practically the clustered machines can read the data sets in parallel and provide a much better, higher throughput. The working of a Hadoop can be explained using the following steps. That is, the input data is broken into blocks of size 128 MB and then blocks are moved to different nodes. Second is, these files are then distributed across various cluster nodes for further processing. Next, third step, HDFS being on the top of the local file system supervises the processing. The fourth step is blocks are replicated for handling hardware failures. Next step, checking that the code was executed successfully. Then performing the sort that takes place between the map and reduce stages. Then sending the sorted data to a certain computer. The last step is writing the debugging logs for each job. So we can summarize the working of a Hadoop as input data is broken into blocks of size 128 MB, and then blocks are moved to different nodes. The second step is once all the blocks of the data are stored on data nodes, the user can process the data. And the third step, resource manager then schedules the program on individual nodes. And the last step is once all the nodes process the data, the output is written back to HDFS. നമുക്ക് ഈ ഇത്രയും സ്റ്റെപ്പിൽ സമ്മറൈസ് ചെയ്ത് 4 സ്റ്റെപ്പിൽ പറയാൻ പറ്റും. First one is dividing the input data into different blocks, and the size is 128 MB, and it will be moved to different nodes to avoid hardware failure. Then if once the blocks of data are stored, then the users can process the data. Third step is resource manager then schedules a program on individual nodes. And the last step is after completing the process, the output is written back to HDFS. When working with big data, we can say Hadoop is fast, scalable, cost-effective, resilient to failures. So, Hadoop framework allows the user to quickly write and test distributed systems. It is efficient and is automatic, distributes the data and work across the machines, and in turn utilizes the underlying parallelism of CPU cores. That is, it is very fast. Next is Hadoop does not rely on hardware to provide fault tolerance and high availability. Rather, Hadoop library itself has been designed to detect and handle failures at the application layer, because it is resilient to failures. Next is servers can be added or removed from the cluster dynamically, and the Hadoop continues to operate without interruption. And the last advantage is the Hadoop is that apart from being open source, it is compatible on all the platforms since it is Java based. Some assignment questions. First question, explain the Hadoop architecture. Second question, explain the working of Hadoop. Third question, mention the advantages of Hadoop. So complete the assignments and forward it to the email ID provided to you. Thank you.